Beer.
Cheese.
It's good for me.
Bomb has been planted.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? How's it going? Hope you're having a good night, day, wherever you're from in this beautiful flipping world. All right, so we got another open table cheese and beer and cheese tasting today. So hope you guys brought something good to show us all. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully your beer works and cheese works. All right. I want to welcome my panel. Cheers to East Coast LQ Reviews.
Cheers.
Yeah. Miscellaneous Brew Reviews.
Cheers.
And Bumpy Road Brews. Cheers. Cheers, cheers. All right. And cheers to the chat, the panel, the area. How are you guys doing over there? East Coast? Cheers, chat. Ridgeopolis. Cheers to Ridge, man. All right. You guys are
Cheers to Ridge,
man. That's right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with Tanner. Let's do this. Let's get it going. Right about now. Okay.
All right. So I figured I'd bring this. I bought this. I made a nice pasta salad the other day with some pepper, tomatoes, and Italian dressing. It's one of those like vegetable rosini pastas or something. The one with all the colors, whatever. But I added some feta cheese. So I have some feta cheese crumbled. So I guess you could consider this an American feta. So it contains cow's milk, and 6 ounces was $4. So I did have it with the pasta, but I didn't actually really sit down and think about the cheese. But it is open, so this is what it looked like. Let me take out a nice little chunk here. So it is very crumbly. So that's cheese. And I don't know. I was just thinking, just do something different. I actually really like that. It works really well with a pasta salad. And the beer I have today is this is from Exhibit A Brewing Company. This is the Cat's Meow. It's a New England IPA. So this one goes out to Miscellaneous, cat, all the cats in the world.
Show the backside of the can.
Oh, the tail.
It's got the cat's ass on there. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
This is brewed and canned by Exhibit A Brewing Company out of Framingham, Massachusetts. So they're actually pretty close to us. I believe that's where one of my brothers went to college. It says 8 out of 10 cats say their owners prefer it. So I don't know what that's all about. But $4 for the single can. It is a New England IPA. It was TCM. What does that mean? I don't know. But this was canned on. I'm assuming canned on. Well, that would make sense. 8/3/22. You guys can see that they do kind of print it on this rim here, which is kind of a pain because I guess it can get wiped off easily. But yeah, I've never had anything from these guys, and I'm excited to try it because they're local to me, or not local, but they're close. So yeah, let's pour this up. Got my Trillium snifter glass here. Let's see what it looks like. Starting to get to the point where most of the single beers that they have at this place I've already had. So, all right, I'd say it's definitely on the darker side for a New England IPA. There is some sediment floaties in there. There's a little bit of clarity at the bottom of the glass, but it's more hazy up top. It's got a golden orange appearance. Kind of frothy, rocky head. Seems kind of, looks like it's going to hold a decent amount of retention. Really only poured like a finger ahead. But yeah, a little bit of effervescence as well. And we'll see what happens. So cheers, guys.
Nice. That was good. Cheers. 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 Okay, Miscellaneous.
What's up, everybody? All right, so the cheese I got tonight, Bumpy did it recently, but it's always a good one, man. This is the Castello, the Edam cheese. Yeah, mild, rich, semi-hard textured, nutty flavor with a salty bite is what they're claiming. I've had this cheese before a few times. There it is. It looks like a giant baby bell. Yeah, the wax rind
Their
on there.
Havarti.
White cheese.
Their
Huh?
Havarti. No, I was gonna say their Havarti is very good. I had that by that company.
So that's the cheese I've got for the evening. And tonight I've got a product here. I don't know. Where do they say it's from now? It says brewed in Ireland. But yeah, I've got the Guinness extra stout. I don't even know what the ABV is on this thing. If it even says it on the bottle. Sure doesn't. Oh yeah, 5.6 right on the front. Anyways, it's rifling around through the cabinet or the drawer in there. Woo! Had some oomph to it. It's been a while since I had this and I saw it and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go for it. Why not? Stop. So yeah. Big head, 3 fingers. I don't know. It's not quite cocoa colored. I'd say khaki, but yeah, looks pretty good. Almost root beer color hue. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Cheers. Thanks, man. All right.
Cheers, Miscellaneous.
Bumpy next.
I got all the dogs that I don't know what they're doing here. You smell the cheese. You want to go outside and you want to smell cheese. First, we'll start off with the cheese. So this is a Gouda, right? And I've had a Gouda from this company before. I talked about how I saw that they had other ones. Like I went on their website and they had all these different Goudas, and I was so amazed by kind of like their standard Gouda. I was like, I got to pick up some of their other stuff. So I did. From Atticus, I picked up the Vintage Lot 18 Gouda. It's 18 months aged. It's a product of the Netherlands. And yeah, it's kind of just a thin slice of Gouda.
Wow.
It's got this nice kind of blue like wax going around it, which says Vintage Lot 18. Yeah, it's got quite a hefty aromatic to it for being a Gouda. And these aren't like, so a lot of the Goudas that like I think a lot of people fall in love with like tend to be like the
young Goudas.
Yeah, the young Goudas, the smoked Goudas and stuff like that. These are
That
not.
look like a hard cheese.
Yep. It's like dropping a deck of cards. The beer that I'm going to pair with this is from Deciduous Brewing Company. They're out of Newmarket, New Hampshire. Just started getting them in the packy for distribution. And this is called Simple Union. It is an unfiltered Kolsch style ale at 4.8% ABV. And there's no date as far as when it was canned, but on the bottom it says #crisp.
All right.
Yeah.
Deciduous is mostly known for they have like at least one sour that was like everybody was like all over the hill about. I've yet to have that sour. I've had other sours from them. I've had lagers, a couple IPAs and stuff like that. I think they kind of do a lot of classic style things for the most part. Still like a Kolsch. Here we go.
Now that's a little odd that they have the stamp machine and they go out of their way to stamp the bottom with like a slogan, but they don't put the date on it.
I think it's one of those things where they were pretty much you had to go to the brewery to buy their stuff anyways.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of small, but they did build up a name for themselves. Whether or not they're going to stand by that name, I don't know. But it's got a white rocky head for the pour. very vibrant white, and it is an unfiltered look to it. I mean, there is some chill haze on the glass here a little bit, but there is still a kind of an unfiltered look to this kind of hay yellow colored brew. It is nice looking. So I think that's kind of what a traditional Kolsch may actually look like, because I don't think that they filtered most of the Kolsches in Germany, in Cologne, Germany, anyways. So yeah, there we go. I'll get into this when we come back around.
Nice. Cheers, man. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bobby.
Okay. All right. So I got the onion jack from Boar's Head, caramelized onion jack for my cheese. And it's really stinky. I mean, it smells like roasted onions and BO. Oh, this is my side drink. Sorry. All right. So I have my beer is Logsdon Farmhouse Ales. These guys are out of Washougal, Washington. It's called the Forager, and it's called the Forager for a reason, because it's an imperial porter aged on whiskey barrels with candy cap mushrooms. I think I talked to you guys about this last night.
Oh.
But yeah, I've never heard of these guys. Never had them. 10.7%. Imperial porter. So let's pour this up. It's a can 211s. It's been in here a bit. Certainly okay. Nice Tootsie Roll brown on the pour. Hopefully I don't pour it over my glass on my keyboard. All right. So yeah, nice tan head, finger pour. A little rocky on the top there. Good looking head though. Dirty glass mafia for sure. And this is a hazy. It's kind of a hazy, kind of icky looking, rocky looking Tootsie Roll brown color. Smells really like whiskey. Oh, that's really strong. All right, so let's get back to East Coast and do our reviews. Cheers, guys.
Cheerios.
Cheers.
All right. What the heck is tzatziki sauce, Ridge?
Tzatziki?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Tzatziki sauce. You get it at the Greek place. It goes with the gyros or gyro. However you pronounce it. Yeah, it's like a cucumber dill mayo.
Oh,
It's an aioli technically.
That's interesting.
It has sour cream in it as well.
Feta cheese fries with tzatziki sauce.
Tzatziki.
Tzatziki.
There you go. You hit it right there. Perfect.
All right, the beer. Unfortunately, there's a lot of sweet malt, caramel malt on this. And I say unfortunately because usually New England IPAs with that big caramel malt, no, I'm most of the time not a big fan of. But diving in a little bit more, I am getting a little bit of a tangerine, maybe like a candied sweetness, a candied citrusy, ripe mango, a little bit of a hop resin and breadiness. But yeah, for the most part, as far as the aroma, I will say that the sweetness from the malts is very overpowering. And this beer is only about a month and a half old. So maybe this is one of those beers, like Beerman said, where it starts to bend. And I haven't had this super fresh before, so I'm not really too sure. Maybe they just use a lot of caramel malt. But besides the fact, what's the ABV on this? It is 6.5%, so a normal ABV for a New England IPA. Definitely not noticeable on the aroma. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely more malt forward. I would have liked to get a little bit more of fruity tropical esters from this. Maybe a little bit more on that hop resin. But overall, it doesn't smell bad. But like I said, usually the ones that are a little bit more caramel malt forward, I'm not the biggest fan of. But let's dive into this. So cheers, guys. It looks good.
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
that's a plus.
Cheers.
just like the aroma. Lots of caramel malt sweetness. Kind of overpowering, to be honest with you. Kind of takes away from the other flavor in the beer. There's a little bit of orange peel and grapefruit on the back end. So I'm getting a little bit of a dry, slightly bitter, a little bit of hop resin lingering on the tongue. Mouth feels good though. I will give it that. It has a good body to it. Yeah, this is too caramel malt forward for me, honestly. Nice citrusy note on the back end, but up front, kind of getting pineapple, maybe something else is in there as well. Yeah, I'm really just kind of getting a big caramel malt pineapple. It's like a malt bomb. I don't know. This one isn't really doing it too well for me. Hopefully, when I try the cheese, maybe it'll switch it up, maybe amplify some of those flavors from the hops a little bit more. Carbonation, I will say, is pretty good. It's got medium to high carbonation. It does got that going for it. Overall, not super impressed with this beer. And like I've said, sometimes when New England IPAs are overly malty, I'm not really the biggest fan of them. That's just kind of a personal opinion. But yeah, so let's try the feta. Grab a nice little chunk here. So chunk's holding up. It's not crumbly to the point where it's falling apart in my hands. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Completely white. Excuse me. Let's smell this, or the aroma.
Smellers.
It's got a little bit of a funk to it. I will give it that. It's kind of got like a little bit of a musty aroma. A little salty, kind of creamy, but I didn't smell this at all when I first bought it, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. I'm getting a little bit of like a musty, kind of dank aroma with this cheese. A little bit of saltiness, and that's pretty much what I'm getting from it. I'm really not getting any like nuttiness. But yeah, so let's try the cheesers, guys.
Nice cheesers.
Cheesers.
Definitely on the drier side. Nice tangy bite on the aftertaste, though, I will say. It's got a little bit of a salty finish, but more sour and tangy. Kind of sharp. Definitely dry, straight up dry. It's really not much of a creaminess to it. Aftertaste isn't too bad, but it does kind of just give that little bit of that like funky, stinky kind of taste and flavor. If that makes any sense. But yeah, overall, I think this is definitely not a cheese that you would just eat straight up. I see this working a lot better with like the pasta like I had. But it's not bad. I can definitely withstand that funkiness. But it's totally something that you would want to put like on a pasta. But who knows? Let's see if it switches up this beer, and we might have like I said, to me this cheese seems like it's definitely something that you want to have with like other dishes, and not just a straight up like a cheese that you would put on a cheese board or have with crackers or something. It seems like something that you would incorporate into like a pasta dish, like I did.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, let's try this. See what happens. Cheesers.
Nice cheesers.
Fisher for dish.
I'm getting a little bit more hop resin There's a little bit more astringency, the floral aspect of the beer, dry astringency of the beer does stand out a little bit more. It's not really amplifying any of the fruity or juicy tropical flavors. To be honest with you, I think the caramel malt in this beer is just too overpowering. It's too overpowering. It was worth a shot. And yeah, this just kind of seems like this. I don't know how long this New England IPA has been out, but this just kind of seems like one of those New England IPAs that when people first started making New England IPAs, they were putting a lot of caramel malt. And then people, what is it? Crystal 40? Is that the other one that gives like that caramel like flavor?
Yeah, they're anywhere between like Crystal 40 to Crystal almost 80 kind of gives their caramel toffee.
So yeah, it does seem like this is one of those like original New England IPAs where you did find a lot of caramel malt in them, and then we started to push away from that aspect. Overall, not the best pairing, but it was kind of fun to try the feta on its own. And this New England IPA, in my opinion, just isn't hitting it for me. I definitely would recommend it. And my score is probably going to be in around like in the 80s. Nothing offensive in flavor, just my personal preference of New England IPAs, especially $4 a can. I could definitely find some other stuff that is more appealing to my palate, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'll sit on this and do a little bit more. Actually, now I'm not even going to try doing the other way around because I already know that this.
Never know.
Yeah, I'll try it. We'll try
But
it.
Tanner,
We'll try it. But Tanner. All right.
Tanner banana.
I will say that I think this cheese is going to be just going to come out on top. Or maybe this, who knows? Let's see what happens. Jesus.
for science.
Jesus.
Cheesers on top.
Yep. It kind of made the cheese more pasty. More pasty and dry. There's just not enough. There's not enough backbone flavor of what I want out of this beer to really make a difference. Maybe if I had this with like a cheddar or something, maybe it would have worked out a little bit more. But with the feta, totally just kind of steamrolled over most of the flavor in the beer. I guess it kind of bumped up the sweetness in the cheese. Made the cheese a little bit more. I guess I kind of got a little bit more of a sweetness, a little bit creamy. Like I said, it kind of made it almost pasty. But yeah, overall, not the best pairing. But I'm going to sit on this and we'll see what happens. So cheers, guys.
Right on.
You
Cheers.
need
Dude.
feta, man. You need to get some of that
Cheers.
goat feta.
Goat feta? I'll try it out.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
They
like,
because I'm sure you got like those containers that come dry, and it's a quick thing I want to hit on before we switch. Like I've gotten feta like in not industrial, but like restaurant size qualities, and typically it's this big block and it comes in a tub and it sits in a brine.
okay.
But there's different kinds of feta, just like how the Chevrolet. They've got the different kinds of. They've got the real like the grainy like that kind of breaks like how what yours is the goat cheese, like that.
Well, this
That's
is
kind of textured like that. You know what I mean? Compared to like your regular smooth, creamy goat cheese that you buy.
Yeah, this one's made with cow's milk, so I thought it was going to be a little bit more on the creamy side. But it's also, this is Stop and Shop brand, which is like grocery store brand. So, and they did have blocks, but of course I bought the crumbles because I was putting it in pasta, rather than cutting up the block.
Yeah.
No flavor in that either. It's just a plain feta.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
all right.
added.
I would say it's definitely kind of tangy.
They make marinated ones too. I've seen like feta, like how they do the Italian, like the knot and stuff, the mozzarella, the marinated mozzarella and stuff. They do it with feta too. It's good. It's like the oil and the spice. It's oily, but that shit's good.
Yeah, it is, dude.
It's definitely it's a style that I would like to try higher quality brands of for sure. because I've only had like feta in pastas and stuff, but I would like to try feta on its own from like a higher quality brand.
There you go.
Maybe get you a hero too. A
Yeah.
euro with some tzatziki.
Oh
You're gonna
yeah,
love it.
it's freaking good,
Got
dude.
feta on it too.
All right, Tanner, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. All right, miscellaneous.
So I'm gonna start with the beer first. Guinness Extra Stout. So yeah, got pretty good head retention. Got some lacing there on the nose. It's a sweet maltiness to it. I get a slight, very slight chocolate. I definitely get a bready, almost wheat bread type of nose. It's got a little bit of roast to it. It does have I would say a semi-robust quality on the nose for the product that we're drinking. I almost want to say there's a hint of graininess, just a hair, just the tiniest note of it. Smells pretty good, not bad. Give me a piece of knowledge because I did taste this beer, and I got a reason why I think it does taste different because they've changed their process. Little thing I've got here, and I remember it. So for this in 2017, Guinness changed their recipe, and it said before that previous, it said for the past 2 centuries, an obscure bit of fish product has been hiding in Guinness. Isinglass is a gelatin derived from fish bladders, usually taken from sturgeon, that is used to filter and clarify the ale. Ensures that the yeast separates from the liquid. Okay, I didn't have any remnants in the bottle of yeast, right? But I remember having this beer a while back before they've changed it, years and years when I was younger. And let's get into it. Let's take a sip.
Nice. Cheers.
Just a weird piece of knowledge if you didn't know. The vegans fucking ruined it.
Cheers, bro.
Why?
Damn it,
Why?
damn vegans.
I don't care. Whatever. Just leave my beer alone. Don't drink it. You know? Yeah. Say light bodied, leaning towards medium. Carbonation's fairly low. I get some slight hoppiness to it. It's not real bitter, but there is a nice hoppy presence there. You get a little bit more of the bittering finish on the drying quality of it. I will say this: I've approached it aroma and almost flavor wise, and it drinks and almost tastes like it's got more booze than it actually does in it at 5.6%. Just a weird thing. There's a nice breadiness to it in the flavor. Almost slightly doughy. You get a robust, you get the toasty grains. It's almost reminiscent of the Founder's Breakfast Stout. Just toned down a bit. I mean, I don't get a lot of super smoky, acrid notes in this at all. I will say this, I kind of pick up, there's a slight metallic note, and I don't think it's the beer. It might be the water profile. Something different. I don't drink this a lot, and I can definitely tell the difference between this and Guinness Drought. And I don't get this flavor typically with that, but nitro beer, not different beers. I can understand. Not bad. Not too bad. Especially for the price. It wasn't expensive, but like I said, I saw it on the shelf. I was in the gas station. I said, "Oh, we haven't had one of these in a while. Let's check it back out." Since they took the fish out of it. Anyways, so the Edam cheese, it's kind of lost a lot of its aromas. It's milky, slightly nutty. It's almost. It's crazy. It almost lands on it's kind of got that Swiss kind of deal, but without the funk. Very, very like buttery, milky type of aroma, almost similar to like a Havarti too. One of those really creamy, rich cheeses that you get. That's pretty much it. It did have a lot more aromas too when I first opened it up. It's been sitting the hair's getting it. That's all right. It's very good. I've scored it really high regards in the past. Let's try it.
Cheesers.
Cheese tasty.
Man. It's a winner every time. I really like this cheese. It's rich, it's buttery, slightly salty. I wouldn't say it's over the top to where they put on there, they say a salty bite. There is a bit of salt. It's just enough. It's not like overpowering where it dries your mouth out like the Sahara Desert. There's a slight lingering salty effect to it. It works well with the buttery richness of the cheese. Yeah, very very good. I mean, I've bought this cheese. I don't know what how long we've been doing these shows, Beer Man. 3 years, something like that.
Yeah,
3 years.
going on 3.
Yeah, I've had this cheese on multiple occasions. I will pick it up again. It's really really good. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the cheese before the beer because that's typically how it goes. I'm starting to slim up a little.
Cheeser.
Cheesers
Cheesers.
again.
Cereal toast.
All right, so I will say it does bring up a little bit of that hoppy bitterness in it, which I don't mind. Kind of balances out. The cheese is kind of salty, bitters there. I will say it does bring up a bit of the roast. It elevates the roasted malt flavors. You're getting a little bit more caramel playing off with the milky lactose aspect of the cheese. Like I said, the salt with this and the bitterness, it balances out very well. Let's try the cheese and then the beer. I almost ate all my cheese. I'm not getting into these other 3 pieces, bro.
Cheesers.
This is good. Oh, I was supposed to do beer and then cheese. Dumbass.
You can.
Oh,
You
well.
still have time. You can do it again.
Nah, I'm content. It's good. I mean,
For
for
science.
what Guinness Extra Stout is, like I said, I don't. You'll see it in the score reflections, but I definitely think this is the right alley. Maybe something a little bit more robust. Maybe, like I said, maybe that's this. I might save a chunk of this for another time, but I do think that I'm on the right path. I've had the Edam with like a big, huge barrel aged stout. What else? I did that. Oh, I did it with the Funky Buddha, that the peanut butter and jelly brown ale before they got bought out by Constellation. I had this cheese and it tasted like chocolate. It was phenomenal. It's in the archive somewhere in the beer and cheese, but yeah, not bad. I definitely think this cheese pairs great with a stout. I think if you go a little bit more on the higher end, some kind of sweet adjunct type of note, maybe maple would you get that sweet and savory type of effect. But even still with this basic style, just a regular extra, it's a dry or stout with a little bit more ABV, a little more kick. Not bad.
Nice. All right.
Cheers, boys.
Very nice.
Cheers, Miscellaneous. Thank you.
Cheers, bro.
Sorry, I had to come. It's been a while, so I figured I'd come correct. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. It's good to have you. All you guys. Thanks.
Bringing a biblical Edam cheese.
Yeah.
You had it what, like 4 weeks ago?
Oh no, I had way more than 4 weeks ago. I did have Edam. I think it was like the end of 2021.
I could have swore you had it. Somebody had it.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I think you had a different one, and then we reminisced about that one.
It was like a baby Gouda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, creamy, milky, nutty. Yeah, like you said.
Right.
But I have a horrible memory. So
What's the ABV?
what? 4.8% for this beer. So this Kolsch style ale, the aromas on it. It does have a nice breadiness to it. It has almost like a slight honey note. There's a lemongrass coming up from the hoppiness. But yeah, it's bready, and it's a cooked bread. It's not doughy. Sometimes with Kolsch's you can get a bit of a doughiness, which I do prefer the doughiness. But yeah, the hops are coming off. They're probably one of the noble type hops, I would guess. They may have thrown something else in there as well. Not sure how many hops they're using in this. But it's definitely on that kind of lemongrass, floral-esque, slightly earthy tone. Very nice aromas out of this, though. Let's give the first swig here. So, well, not really, because I've already been drinking on it. Oh, cheers!
I
Cheers.
took after you,
Yeah,
Bumpy. It's like right after we show it, we get into it.
It's got like a medium body feel to it. Medium carbonation, some spritz. There's a bit of a breadiness to the malt. There's maybe a slight wheat. There's like a slight wheatiness, almost like an American wheat ale in there. The hops, I do get it's kind of like lemongrass hoppiness. There is kind of an herbal, earthy toneness to it as well. Bitterness on this one is pretty moderate for a Kolsch style. It definitely has a lingering bitterness. That lingering bitterness is more of that kind of earthy toned, kind of zesty flavor. Balance on it. It's maybe not quite as balanced as like a true authentic Kolsch would be. I think this one definitely is on a bit of the more bitter side, a little bit more hoppy, just a little bit. It's Americanized, it's bastardized, whatever you want to call it. But it is very drying to the palate. It does invite you back for more. It's not harsh at all. It's got some good flavor notes going on. The malt notes that you do get, that bit of breadiness, the kind of like wheat flavor, and just the way like the lemongrass flavor note. That's mostly what you kind of get in mid palate, and then the finish with the earthy and zesty type tones. It does work together to make a decent drink. Nothing wowing, I wouldn't say. I mean, Kolsch style is not a wowing beer to begin with. So, but very quaffable brew. All right, let's move on to this cheese, which I've sliced up in different variations. I got the little tiny cheesy cubes, little side panels, and a base with some siding as well.
It kind of looks like a piece of art you were making there, Bumpy.
Yes. And fish.
If they
Is that a crocodile?
no.
Look at the crocodile.
No, if they had a jellyfish in Pac-Man.
Oh
No, the
yeah,
crocodile, the one with the rind.
that does look like a jellyfish.
The one with the rind. Hold it up again. The one with the rind looks like a crocodile. Tell me not.
Oh, that one? Yeah. All right. Well, enough of the way the cheese looks. Let's smell it. It does have a pretty potent smell for Gouda. especially not being smoked. This is just aged. It's 18 months aged. Uh, there is a bit of this kind of like plastic weirdness,
That shit looks
like
dry.
rubber, like rubbery, whatever. You kind of get like a little hint of that. There's a sweetness to it too, a bit of a nuttiness, kind of a tartness. I can pick out like a toffee. Yeah, it's it's got an array of aromas for such a simple kind of cheese, I guess. I mean, I don't make cheese, so I'm not sure how simple it is to make Gouda. But let's try some of these little tiny cubes.
There
Jeez.
you go. Yeah. If you get any of that outside by the rind, that's just gonna be
Yeah, the
crunchy.
outside by the rind, I ate that first because that definitely brings more of that kind of rubber tirey.
Yeah, it's squeaky.
Yeah. The inner side's more. It's a little bit. It's not as hard. I mean, it melts down a bit easier. It's still a hard cheese, but eating it, yeah, I get this kind of like sour nut. Bit of a milkiness, maybe like a milk that's kind of going south as well. It doesn't get super funky, but there is a bit of this kind of like things are aged type thing. You know, maybe they're a little bit past their expiration date with certain things like nuts or milk. Uh, there's a ton of toffee notes in this, lots of toffee, and there's a shit ton of salt. Lots of salt. Now there are little tiny crunchy bits as well. You don't always get them, but occasionally you will get this little crunchy flavor bit,
Awesome.
which is very welcome. Very nice. Now I also cut up. Let me get a thinner slip. Cut up some strips because chunks are different, and sometimes eating something thin. Oh, you get more crystal, more of that crystal crunch because it's a wider surface, even though it's thinner.
Making me jealous.
Yeah.
I like to
dude.
try a
Sounds
piece of that
good.
cheese, dude.
Well, I highly recommend their goodness.
How much was it?
I don't know.
If you don't mind me asking.
I think it was in the $7 range.
That's not bad. You get a
Yeah.
skinny slice of cheese.
Yeah, and this is six ounces,
That sounds reasonable.
but it's flavorful. So I mean, you can eat a little bit, and you have that lasting flavor. And the salt, the salinity on it, that lingers on too. It does have a little bit of that kind of rubber tire. It does have a little bit of like almost rubber tire ran over skunk.
Ooh.
It has that. It has that weirdness.
Polecat, huh?
Yeah.
Saison territory, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, this would work wonderful with a saison.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a delightful cheese. Yeah, I highly recommend that. Buy them all because they have different lot vintages too, plus the standard. But the Atticus, look for their Goudas. I believe they have smoked Goudas and stuff as well. They do youngsters. I think they have a youngsters, which is a baby Gouda, all the way up to all these vintage aged ones. It's amazing, like because a lot of Goudas I've had that I just picked up that were kind of like most of them are like, oh, it's aged for like 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't get a ton out of that. It's just more milky, and these ones that are vintage aged like this. It's amazing the notes that do come out of it. So the toffee is just lingering on as well. So the toffee, saltwater toffee. I don't know. It's a lot of salt, a lot of toffee notes. Like I said, you do get a little bit of like a rubber, slightly a little bit of skunk, and but other than those are just kind of like minute, kind of off the cuff flavor notes off the side. The majority of the flavor is toffee, salt, like sour nuttiness, and maybe a little bit of a milk that's starting to go type flavor. It's but it works. I don't feel like my stomach's gonna curdle. It's not gagging me. It's kind of that just like, ooh, that's different, but it's nice. Let's eat some cheese. Let's take a few of these and then take a swig of the beer.
Cheese.
All right, cheesers.
I saw that slice of cheese and it like almost like the look of it reminded me like manchego. If you've ever had that, it's
Yeah, I like manchego.
dry.
Yeah, very dry. Yep. Tasty though.
Yeah. Beer and cheese match up very nicely. This cheese could handle something more potent than this. Kolsch, obviously. But it just makes it more of a creamy experience. Still getting some of that kind of lemongrass, but that's mixing in with that kind of sour nuttiness. The toffee notes kind of linger on. The salinity's knocked down just a touch, but it's still there. Most of the cheese follows through, but you are still left with some of the nuances of the Kolsch with the kind of lemongrassiness. A little bit of the earthy tones too that linger on from the bitterness from the beer. That was nice. Let's do it the opposite way here. Cheers.
Cheers, Ian.
Cheesers.
Jesus.
Yeah. Both ways work. I mean, it's a very nice pairing. I would like Miscellaneous to like trying these types of things. Do the saison. Try the saison with it. But this definitely works if you pick up a Kolsch with this Gouda. Yeah, awesome.
Where's that? Is that a local one? Do you know where it's from, or is it something you can find generally in a grocery store? Or
Atticus?
Yeah.
They're out of the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. So it's
so you could be able to find it too.
Exotic cheese.
Yeah, that's
okay. Cool. I'll
vintage
check it
a
out.
lot, but that's ATIKAAS.
Gotcha. All right.
They have different vintages.
What is that? What is that
There's
picture?
there's lot 6, there's lot 10 or 12 or whatever. There's lot 18, and then there's like a lot 20 something. It's
Oh wow. All right.
Is that a seahorse on there or something? What the hell is that?
what?
The picture, it looks like a seahorse. Hold it up again. You don't see that picture?
That thing?
Yeah.
That's a signature.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the owners.
Thought it was a
Oh, yeah.
dragon.
that was a seahorse.
Yeah, no, that's a scribbled that's like a doctor's note.
Okay. I'm glad we all know that now.
More you know.
Oh, and I keep calling Atticus. It's Articus. So it's ART.
Articus.
Art,
Okay.
and then I, and then KA.
Atticus.
Articus.
Atticus.
Lovely.
So what Pee Wee Herman just get yelled out. Yeah, cheers, dude. Right on. That's the freaking that worked out well, dude. Hell yeah.
Very well.
Cheers. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I got my little hairs. It's coming up. Little grandpa hairs, dude. All right. So anyone that didn't see this, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you saw this or not, chat, but Caramelized Onion Jack by Boar's Head. Let's go ahead and put this up because it stinks like fuck. And I want to eat it. God. Okay. Let's get the cheese first. So the cheese is God. It smells good. It smells like roasted onions and garlic. It's really floppy. It's a Monterey Jack, so get it on your hands. It's gonna stink. Probably be something to use like going fishing in a lake or something. That might work. They might bite it. Who knows? But yeah, you can bet it forever and ever.
Oh, beer man, now your eyeball smells.
Yeah. It's gonna make my farts smell in the morning too. My wife's really gonna love me. With a little heartburn as well. Oh, it smells like roasted onions, just straight up, and a bit of salt and milk, cow milky kind of thickness.
It's good.
It smells good when you get it closer to the nose. From far away though, it's like, oh, there's like this BO pinch, coming out. I thought it was my armpits. It's fine. Squishy soft cheese, and it warmed up, so it got a little softer. So cheers. Let's eat the cheesers.
Cheers.
Jeez.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
real good.
like on burgers and shit.
Oh yeah, dude. That sounds good. That sounds good. Actually, this is really good. It's got an umami bite to it. Kind of a meaty, oniony, like you're eating a burger, It actually tastes kind of meaty. Whoops, it got on my screen from my microphone. Yeah, it has this meaty kind of umami, like salty, even kind of like going in the realm of Worcestershire sauce or soy sauce, or kind of in that kind of thing. Yeah, this is it's soft. It's a soft texture. It just really almost melts on your tongue. It just kind of easy to chew and easy to take down, but that really strong onion is just right there. It's like you took a grip of grilled onions and threw them in your mouth. I mean, with some milk, it's just so good. God damn, this is gonna be good with the mushroom. Ooh, I get tuna. I get a tuna taste in my mouth right now. Like like tuna meat. All right. Well, I should have done my beer first, damn it. Now I gotta get the onion out of my mouth. All right. Oh, yeah, tuna's really big in this for some reason. I'm just getting a big tuna bite. FLX, what's up? Cheers. Nacho cheese. It could be. I mean, you can put it on. It would melt. It's a good melter, I think. Now the beer, woo, that's strong. It's had some time to kind of aerate and oxygenate, or get some oxygen in there and do its thing. Excuse me, tuna. Yeah, kind of tuna. Kind of tuna. I'm not even gonna go there. So this is Slogston Farmhouse Ales out of Washougal, Washington. They're called the Forager. It's an imperial porter aged in whiskey barrels with candy cap mushrooms. I've never had candy cap mushrooms, and I don't even know what they look like. So, I will say that this is very big on the bourbon. Very, very big alcoholic bourbon kind of whiskey thing going on the nose. Let me spin it. Let me twirl it.
When I went to Cigar City in Tampa, they had a stout with those mushrooms in it. I do remember that.
Do they? Right. Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was when I went there. It was like something that you could only get on draft.
Must be the mushroom. It
had that. What do you call it? Candy cap mushroom.
Candy cap.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, they had a stout that was like that at Cigar City. I liked it. It was pretty good.
Cool. I don't get any candy cap mushrooms. I don't get any earthy, mushroomy kind of thing. It does have an earthy, but I don't really. It blends in so well with that. But the whiskey just kind of dominates the bourbon. I mean, it's like fumey. It's like you poured a shot of whiskey, of bourbon whiskey, and you're trying to smell it without going like like that alcohol kind of bite. You get that. Yeah, it's just so. strong barrel, like woody, and which really I think would work well with the mushrooms. I mean, those are kind of a woody flavor for the most part, like a woody kind of, I don't know, earthiness. This is it's got a little pinch of, you get some chocolate notes in there. You do get the maltiness. You get a caramel, a deep, rich kind of dark caramelization in this. So strong. God, it's like it's like smelling rubbing alcohol. It's so pinchy in the nasal area. Like, whoa. Okay, so we kind of looked at it, but it's a Tootsie Roll brown colored beer, and you can't see through it. It's opaque, leaving some good legs. Kind of sounded Canadian. Yeah, so not bad. It's cold and good retention. Medium rising bubbles on the carbonation. So yeah, let's try it. Cheers.
Those are candy cat mushrooms.
Put all the info in the chat, in the private chat about that.
Ooh, it's buttery. Butter popcorn, diacetyl. It's dry. It's like rubbing alcohol in your mouth. The alcohol from the whiskey takes away a lot of that thick, like whiskey bite in the throat. It just takes all that out, and you start to taste this like earthy kind of, not mushroom, just like this earthy kind of a thing. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know how many mushrooms they used in their batch or what they did, but as far as balance goes, but it does have a nice buttery diacetyl butter popcorn kind of feel to it, which is, to some extent, it's okay to have that. And I think it's okay with this. It does have kind of a barrel, kind of woodsy thing going on as well for the aging. Wow. But it's smooth. It's not sweet. It's dry. And the body is like, it's so dry that it almost feels medium light in the body. It's tangy. Oh, God, that alcohol. It doesn't go up your nose. It just like sifts through your tongue, and you can get the fumes kind of, but it's like, raisins. I get like a raisin date or something like that. Maybe some kind of figgy thing or something as far as a fruit. All right, man. Let's try the cheese with this shit.
This might really help things out.
I think so.
Or it's going to make it way more boozy, one or two.
You're confused, Miss Piggy. Oh, no. Tell us what you're confused about, because I might be confusing myself, too. There's just so much going on with this.
Jesus!
It really goes good. Oh, it takes the boozy out. Lets me taste the whiskey without a booze, It lets me taste the chocolates, any kind of roasted appeal or charm to this, from the porter. It's really nice. Yeah. It doesn't bring out any sweetness because there wasn't any to begin with. It's still dry, but it does kind of add a little bit of body to it, texture, let's say. It kind of allows you to enjoy both worlds. It goes well together. It's like this. Hold on, man. Let me get some more.
Get some more, dude.
Yeah. I can't. I just keep talking. Tuna. Big time. Onions and tuna. Mmm.
It's good cheese for tuna melt.
Mm-hmm. There's kind of a date or a raisin kind of thing coming out, but it subsides a little bit. The cheese and the milk, the onions kind of tangles it up a little, kind of throws it around, and kind of lets you enjoy it more. Where before it was like so boozy tasting and buttery and diacetyl like, you know, it was like but then you have the cheese and it just kind of goes right into it and melds right into it perfectly. Leaves you with a nice finish. It goes just down nice. Doesn't feel like I don't think I'm gonna have heartburn. I might. We'll find out tonight or in the morning when I wake up. But that's really good. I'm very impressed with the mix. So let's do a beer. Let's do it.
Cheesers again.
Cheese before beer.
That was quick.
Cheese before beer. Yep.
The cheese is good.
That's a strong beer too, and that cheese mixed with it really lets you drink it like fluidly with no problem. You don't get any alcohol. There's no burn whatsoever. It's just straight up flavor, bourbon flavor. It's not like where before the cheese, it's like bourbon going up into your shit. And you're like, you know, it's just like, I don't drink a lot of bourbon. I don't drink a lot of bourbon or any alcohol, you know? So anytime I have alcohol or anything like that, I'm like, God damn, that's strong, you know? But that's really good. So cool. Let's get our last thoughts. Wow, that cheese is oniony. Whew. Okay, and tuna. Okay, let's go. Tanner.
All right. So as far as the beer, besides anything else that I was tasting, rather than just repeating myself, I was getting a little bit of peach. This kind of reminds me of a Clown Shoes beer, where it's like super caramel malt forward, and yeah, Dan, you need to get yourself together. But yeah, it reminded me of like a Clown Shoes beer, just super caramel malt forward. And I was picking up, like I said, I was getting mango. What did I say? Tangerine, grapefruit, and peach. But overall, the sweetness from the malts is just a little too overpowering. I'll give this one I'll give it an 86. I think it's a decent brew. It's just not something that I would recommend. No, not 86 in that way, but 86 just it's a fair beer. It's just not personal preference. I'm just not a big fan of it. I don't think I would buy it again. And the cheese, I actually had to stop eating the cheese. I think the like musty aspect of the cheese started to take over, and it started to become really astringent. And I just wasn't really a big fan of this cheese as something to eat on its own.
Got some really cheesy puns tonight, Dan.
Well, at least it's the show for it. But so yeah, so for the cheese on its own, I'll give the cheese like a 80. It's okay. Me personally, I'm not really a big fan of it, but it's still I'm giving it that rating based off of on its own. But as far as like pairing with other stuff, like I had like with the pasta salad, it works really well. Definitely cuts through that musty, kind of stanky, cheesy taste, and of course the astringency is cut back a lot. So I would rate it a lot higher than 80 as far as something to throw into a dish. And overall, the pairing didn't really work. I'll just kind of leave it at that. Not really. I guess I'll give it like a. I guess it kind of amplified the creaminess in the cheese, made it a little bit less astringent, and kind of cut back on that funky note. For pairing, I'll give it like an 82. Yeah, it wasn't the best pairing, but it was nice to just try it and see how it worked. I'd like to try some other styles of feta. I know they do like Greek, and I believe this would be considered like an American feta. But I will try other ones in the future. But yeah, this one personally just didn't hit the mark for me. And yeah, overall, I probably wouldn't pair this cheese with other stuff. But that's not to say that I wouldn't try a feta with something else, or maybe a different style. That always comes into play where it might just be possible that maybe feta just doesn't go best with a New England IPA. Um, and I'm still kind of new to this stuff. I'm new to the styles of cheese and what pairs with certain styles. So down the line, we're doing open tables, so maybe I'll find something a little bit more higher end and possibly do a yeah. Down the line, I possibly might bring another feta and try to pair with something else. Maybe I'll do a little bit more research because this was totally just off the fly. Just wasn't really just kind of thought, I had this feta cheese and I was like, oh, maybe try it with a New England. So I didn't do any research, but maybe next time I bring a feta, maybe I'll look up something that possibly might go better with the feta than a New England IPA. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, man. Tanner, thank you. All right, miscellaneous.
All right, so I had the Castillo, the Edam cheese. It's really good. Honestly, I enjoy it. It's a staple product for me. I've had it many a times throughout the length of this show, and it does pair with a lot of different things. I think, like I said, something maybe a little sweeter, barrel aged adjuncts, more on the a little bit sweet. I wouldn't say pastry stout. I wouldn't want to go that route. You know what I mean? But to go against like the rich, buttery, salty aspects of it. It's a good cheese. Bring it down because I can't remember what I've scored it in the past. Lots of beers ago, lots of cheese ago. But I don't know. I'll give it a 96. I think that's fair. I've had a couple Edam cheeses, and that one's the better one in my opinion. So yeah, go with the 86 or 96 for that. Sorry. For the Guinness Extra Stout, it just ain't the same, boys. We need those fish livers back in there. I don't know. It's not bad for what it is. ABV wise, like I said, it on the aromas and almost like on the flavors, it felt a little bigger, higher ABV than it was. I did forget to mention I was getting like a dried fruit note out of it. I think more on like a dry fig, more than raisin, maybe even date. But yeah, it's a drinkable product, slightly dry on the palate, pretty easy going. Would this be the person I'd want to like? Would this be the beer I'd want to introduce somebody into stouts? Probably not. I would probably give them like I said, Founder's Breakfast Stout. This is still very good. It's traditional. It's been around for a while, but they changed it. Honestly, I'm gonna go with an 85. It's not bad, but it's not great. This isn't a drain pour beer, but I could see some people not liking it. And price isn't bad. It's slightly larger format bottle, but not a completely huge one. Um, yeah, 85. Together though, um, I think they went really well. Like I said, I had the kind of the same aspect Beer Man did. It brought like I said, I don't know why. I was getting some sense of alcohol off of this, and it's crazy. I can have these large barrel aged beers, and you're like, oh nope, doesn't smell like booze, but you get this 5.6, and you're like, that smells kind of boozy for what it is. Um, Honestly, worked really well. Like I said, brought a lot more of the beer flavors out, the robusty, roasty notes, more breadiness, kind of like intermingled really well. And like I said, it toned down some of the bitterness that I was getting on the tail end. Very, very moderate bitterness. So, I mean, together, I will say that stouts and Edam cheese go together. Like I said, me personally, not a pastry stout, but something sweet adjuncted, maple syrup, even something to counterbalance with the nutty, rich, milky, buttery saltiness of the Edam cheese. fruits even. I've did that beer with a peanut butter and jelly brown ale, and it was out of this fucking world.
Mm.
Like I said, it tastes like chocolate and all this It was insane. So
Awesome.
it's a good cheese, and I've had a lot of different experiences with it. So it's good. Charcuterie board worthy for me.
Cool.
Very good cheese. Pairing, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Let's put it at 93 on
Right.
tonight's situation.
Great. Sounds
Not
good.
bad.
Nice.
Cool. All right, man. Well,
Cheers.
thank you, Miscellaneous. Grid scores.
Bro, I tried.
All right.
It's been a while. I wanted to taste this beer
It's-
again.
All right. Well, cheers, man. It's time for Bumpy Road Brews.
Here I am. First off, I have to acknowledge Dan from FLX Beer Reviews. He's coming out here with a Swiss bank full of cheesy jokes. I'd ask him to pay it forward, but he just doesn't have the cheddar.
Oh, damn, Bumpy.
Anyway, the
Is this a cheese punch show off?
Bumpy could do it till the fucking cows come home. Dan would lose
ooh,
right now.
Oh, that's a good one too, Miscellaneous.
And I wasn't even trying, you see? I was already on.
Oh.
Let me go ahead and move on.
we could keep doing this, but I think Dan's used all the Gouda jokes up. Let's see the cheese. It's a good Gouda actually. It's different. It's got a lot of flavor notes that I think the typical Gouda eater wouldn't quite. I'm so fond of you too, Dan. Yeah, the typical Gouda eater probably wouldn't expect. So I think it's a must try, especially if you're looking for something different than a smoked Gouda. That's I think probably one of the most sought after Goudas is usually the smoked ones. But it's so good. Yeah, it's because it's smoked. They do a great job with their cheeses at Articus. I'm going to give this one a 95 out of 100. Leave a little leeway. This one is a bit on the stronger side. I think they do have one that maybe aged longer even, which I would definitely try that one, just see where the hell this goes. But their younger age one was also a very beautiful Gouda. Just they're full of nice flavors that are long lasting. This one's definitely a bit of a harder Gouda. The edges, I would say, are a bit iffy. You may have to cut like about a quarter of an inch in just to get away from kind of the very rubbery feel that you get from the edges. Plus, that's kind of where more of that rubber tire flavor comes from too, and skunk. The beer from Deciduous, this nice Kolsch style called Simple Union. I thought they did a great job on it as far as being within the Kolsch style. Not top notch. It's a little bit different. Like I said, maybe a little bit more Americanized, but still a decent drinker. I'm going to go ahead and score this at a 44 out of 50, which is going to put it in the very good range. And as far as the pairing, I think that they worked wonderfully together. But like Miscellaneous had said, like a Saison would probably go well with this particular Gouda, the vintage lot 18. I think that this one definitely is potent enough. And it has some of those kind of funky notes that would marry very well with most Saisons. So
Nice.
cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Bumpy.
Cheers, Bumpy. I find that cheese.
Cheers. Thank you, man. All right. I'm buzzing, dude. It's not something you should be doing while running a show. Oh, not good. Okay. Well, the beer, the Forager. It's I got some maple syrup actually out of this. That was one thing that they said was it comes out of it, and I did get a little bit of a maple kind of vanilla thing. But Untapped scored this at a 4.06, which is pretty damn good. I would probably go on the. I would probably go like a 93 out of 100 on this. I thought that it played its part very well. I thought it was strong. It had the diacetyl kind of buttery kind of thing going, but it wasn't so off-putting as to where it was like, the whiskey, for anyone that's into whiskey or bourbon whiskey, you would love this. It's actually a rye whiskey, and it did kind of impart kind of like a more of a spicier kick. It kind of like has spicy kind of weird vanilla kind of maple kick, and it was really nice actually. So if you like a rye imperial kind of like barrel aged thing, you might like this quite well. I would give it that. Yes, a 90. What did I say? 93 out of 100. The cheese was absolutely interesting and good. I really liked it. I'd like to do it on a tuna melt. I think that would be really good. Or even on a burger or something like that, something of that sort. And I would give this cheese from Boar's Head a 94 out of 100. I'll go 94 out of 100. It was definitely in that mid-range A. The mix was absolutely awesome. It took away the boozy. It took away the ness and allowed you to actually enjoy the beer and then enjoy the tuna cheese. So, but it went really well. It was, I'd give it a 98 out of 100. I thought it was a very good compliment to the beer. The cheese was, I thought it was awesome. Cheese before beer for sure. Very delicious. I haven't given a 98 or even 100 or whatever since goat cheese and a sour. So this is really, really phenomenal. It's strange. Miscellaneous, you said you're gonna be surprised maybe, and it did. It surprised me, and it went really well. So I'm very happy with this. Cool. It's 98 on the mix. All right, man. Beer Man reminds me of Jack Black and pasta. A lot of people say Jack Black. Everyone says I must look like Jack Black or some kind of Jackie dude. All right, so let's get back to the main panel, and we're good. So go ahead and do your shout outs, man. Promote. Do your shit. Starting with TANNER.
Right.
I need one for my last.
So shout outs for me. Wednesday, we'll be doing another beer trivia. Last one was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. There were a lot of facts and questions that kind of threw everyone for a loop, which was cool because it's definitely a lot more fun when questions and answers aren't so obvious. So it was definitely very informative and just kind of a good time, just kind of switching up from the everyday reviewing and doing all that. It was a little bit more laid back. It was full panel. We had a little bit of a competitive scene. Beer Man actually won. Yeah, Beer Man, you won. I don't know if you heard me. But yeah, Beer Man won.
Fuck
Do you
up on
beat
your
you
show,
the
dude.
first
And
one?
it was a lot of fun though, and hopefully
Yeah.
we can get some more people on. And it doesn't matter who wins or as long as everyone's having a good time. I learned a lot, And yeah, so that'll be Wednesday 9 p.m. after Wild Card with Eric. I think it's going to be Eric. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Eric this week. So yeah, before I get into shout outs for other people, also I won't be doing my Saturday show, Rate That Beer, because I will be going to Beer Tuberpalooza with that guy over there in the corner. This guy Bumpy over here, he will be there. So I'll be hanging out with Bumpy, Dan, Mike from FLX Beer Reviews. Joe from the Beer Patrol will be there. It'll be awesome to meet all of them. Dan and Mike for the first time. Meet Joe. Matt, Master Beer Reviews. No Hype Beer Reviews with Kyle. Yeah, so it should be a good time. I'm going to try to vlog as much as I can. I'm going to do like a little bit of a getting my stuff together and just kind of driving out. And then I might do a little video of me driving. It will be in Albany, New York. So it's going to be about a 3-hour drive. So I will try to get a little bit of footage of me driving, possibly some scenery I might see. So it'll be a different style video.
Not lizards.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, before I had to take
lizards.
Before I had to take all my malt liquor videos down, I was a big fan of like vlogging and just kind of doing videos where it was just kind of me hanging out, chilling, and just drinking 40s and stuff. So I am a big fan of vlog videos. So hopefully in the future I could possibly start to incorporate those more into my channel. So look out for those. And yeah, so after this weekend, I will probably push that video to the front of my beer reviews and stuff, all my other videos that I do have in the archives that I need to upload. So yeah, just look out for that. I will do, like I said, I'm going to try to do like a vlog style video, possibly some reviews with some of those guys over there. I know Dan specifically told me that he wanted to review one of the beers that I'm bringing. So look out for that, an actual review other than just an examination online, the actual in-person review with Dan, Mike. I'm sure Bumpy is going to hop on it with us as well. Always welcome, And yeah, it's going to be a great time. Super excited for it. I haven't done any beer meetups or any kind of get-togethers as far as like my YouTube channel. So I'm
You hung out with Bumpy and John and
Well, I mean,
Eric
like as far as like events, that was kind of just like hang out, shoot the shit, make videos and stuff. But
I
as far
saw
as like,
some videos.
well, don't get me wrong, hanging out with Bumpy and John was a great get together. But this is like a big, kind of like a big event that's going on. With I think there's like at least I think there's like 11 people going. So it's even people that I've never even met before. There's some names that were thrown out that I've never even really associated with. So it'd be cool to just kind of meet new people and
That
just
kind of sketches me out.
expand the community, and we'll see what happens from it. So yeah, like I said, other than that, check out Eric Wildcard Wednesday 7:30. Check out Dan and Mike FLX Beer Reviews. And I just did a review tonight on a Hot Butcher beer. And I will be linking my examination with Dan and Mike for the other Hot Butcher beer. So look out for that. And let me shout out one other person. Oh, there's Josh. I'll shout out Josh. Beer Bowl Discussion Sunday. I think he's been going at 7:30 p.m. I've been seeing.
Going whenever he feels like it now.
Yeah, it seems like it. Seven. I believe it's like 7 to 8 o'clock. So look out for that. He starts
8:30 the one night. I was like, geez, I might be too drunk by then.
Starts off the show with a beer review and then opens up the panel and talks about different beer news and topics and stuff like that.
5:30 here.
And yeah, so that's enough out of me. So cheers. I gotta grab something so I can do my final sip.
Nice,
for having
bro.
me tonight,
Cheers, man. Cheers. All
Cheers.
right. Thanks.
Shout outs for me. I'm still on hiatus, just like yesterday and last week. I might do some pop-up music streams, play some video games, something like that. I might actually I got that Mars, and maybe I'll cut a review for my channel. I don't know.
Nice.
Thank you. And yeah, go check out Leprechaun TV, the hot seat Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Good program, barbecue banner. recipe swaps, Uncle Steve's Shake. You can all get it over there. Very nice community, good barbecue people. Other than that, go check out Dickie's Beer Reviews. Go check him out.
There you go.
He's a cool guy.
Again,
If you want to hear a song and a beer review, he's good for it. Other than that, don't forget Alex. Legendary Alex. He's got Food Fridays, Alex and Friends. It's Thursday, 10:30 or 11. Sometimes 10 with that. Food Fridays, avocado toast, because I remembered.
avocado toast.
My
Yeah,
brain is working right
I'll
now.
say, please, those that can make it to that, because that's one I would really like to join.
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
avocado toast. Because there's going to be some of us that would normally join up with Alex's Food Friday that are not going to be able to make it. So if you guys can find the chance to join up on
But
his
you can't join while you're driving and have avocado toast in the car.
avocado toast and
Yeah,
partying.
that sounds
And-
great.
Yeah. Just break away. Be like, man, I gotta have some lunch. Sit down with Alex, have an avocado toast and a beer, and
Yeah.
get back to it. You know.
Yeah,
who
lunch
even
and,
knows if we're
yes.
going to have Wi-Fi connection out there?
This is true. Hopefully.
Well, that you should have looked at that before you went there. That scares me too.
Yeah.
We've got no signal.
Is it rural?
It's in a big brick condo-looking building. That's all I know.
Oh.
One of the projects, huh?
Yeah, man, we ain't
well,
got no.
whatever.
We
Make
ain't
the
got no
best of it.
internet
It'll
here.
be all good.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
But continue
That's it
on,
for me.
Sam.
I'm just joking. I played around too much
I
today.
like-
I was fired up. Had
Love
some
my
good
breath.
fingers before the show. Cheers,
Well,
guys.
Cheers, Miscellaneous.
Cheers, man. Cheers, man.
Yeah, it was kind of my shout out was that what I just did for Alex, just kind of playing off Miscellaneous. I didn't know if he was going to shout Alex out or not, but yeah,
I
avocado
remembered
toast
what it
sounds
was.
fantastic. So I see it on the Dunkin' Donuts menu. I've never had it, but my wife loves avocado, so she's always buying avocado. I really love guacamole, which has avocado in it. Plus, we get avocado slices like we do burgers and stuff. We'll put the avocado slices on the burgers and everything.
Oh yeah, man.
She's
With
pretty
blue
good.
cheese.
Yeah. So I imagine it would be fantastic on toast, like sourdough bread, stuff like that, toasted up. Oh, okay.
Moving on. You're
So-
gonna lose me. We start talking about
50-point inspection videos. I put those out. Well, or whatever video I'm putting out, my beer review type things on Wednesdays and Fridays. Fridays right now are kind of dedicated to FLX beer reviews from their beer mail until I get through all of the beers that they had sent me. So I got a few more of those left. Other than that, yeah, the regular 50-point inspections, and also I have some videos from when I was down in Texas coming up as well. I'm just calling those Bumpy on the road.
Awesome.
So kind of just more or less doing the same thing, but not having like a score sheet right there, kind of to write stuff down. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the beers more than actually give them a score, I think, for the most part. But yeah, then I have a live stream Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern is the start of the show. It's called New Brew. Just bring a beer that you've never had before to join up on panel. And that's a 3-part show. So review your new beer that you've never had. Then we have a general chit chat. You can talk about whatever. Also throw in maybe a score for your beer during that time. Near the end of the show, I like to have a little bit of a question and answer. So anybody can bring the question. It could be me. It could be somebody on the panel, somebody in the chat. So if you're watching along, you're chatting, and you want to throw out a question for the panel to answer, please do so. And yeah, I was talking to my grandson today about the Beer Tuber Palooza coming up, and he was very, very excited. This is actually his commentary of me talking about the Beer Tuber Palooza.
You son of a bitch!
Ah.
Yeah.
Is that really your grandchild?
Yeah.
Oh, it's cute, man. He's a cute kid. Nice.
So
That was awesome.
yeah, we're all excited. Even the wife's excited because I won't be around.
Oh, I feel that's the same way here sometimes. You're going on a trip? Yes.
She asked where I was heading out. She's like, "When are you leaving?"
Oh,
And I'm like, "Friday." And she's like, "Oh." I'm like, "What, do you want me to leave on Thursday?"
that's awesome. All right. Well, cool, man. All right. So beer and cheese will be the same. It's not changing for a while until I figure something else out. So yeah, just open table. Bring what you like. We'll see you next week, 8:00 Eastern. If you want to be here, anyone can be on here too. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're, not a douche. Yeah, or no, I can't take that from Eric. But no, but as long as you are serious, it's kind of a serious or more of a serious kind of thing. It's not serious, but it's it shows some manners to some degree. So Wednesday tomorrow will be a Step Brothers theme from the Step Brothers movie. So I finally found something. I'm hoping it works. I hope you guys did too. If you want to be here too on the panel, and sweet. All right, cool. And anyone that wants to join that has something like that, come on up. Just be serious with our panel and know that this is an educational kind of situation. I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? Scary. Oh, it's educational. Yeah, but so we're gonna do that at 3:00, 6:00, excuse me, your time, 3:00 my time, tomorrow. And yeah, dude. I'm not gonna mention anything yet. I do have some sticker things coming up though. I'm major focus on stickers, like stickers and business cards and window decals and shit like that. So look out for that instead of going to Teespring. Maybe come to me and see if I can do it for you. But and then brewing. I just got my shit today, so I can finally start brewing. I'll be brewing probably in the next week. So look out for that as well. Okay. 3 people. Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been doing water tests, but I've been going through the motion. Okay, I'm going, and my mind's like thinking, and I'm training my mind kind of like you would in boot camp or something. So I might do another water test reality check, but we'll see how it goes. But I want to brew. I don't want to waste my shit. It took a long time to get. So we're running out of time. We're on 1.5. Finru Home Brewing. Check him out. I don't think he has anything. He hasn't had anything recently, but I really like watching his stuff. And Northern Southerner Beer Reviews is from England. I think Northern England, I want to say, or something of that sort. Don't ride me too long on that, Northern Southerner. But yeah, he's a good dude. He's put out some good stuff. He's on my Facebook as well. And then you got South 10 Beer Reviews. Tyler is a really rocking reviewer. He's always putting out some really good stuff. So check out South 10 Beer Reviews. I really like that guy. He's a very nice, well-mannered dude, very respectful and cool sounding. I'd love to meet him one day. So man, a great panel. Great panel. I want to say cheers. Let's say fierce cheers to the chat. Thank you guys. And then let's just kind of get into this and say thank you very much, panel, for being here. East Coast LQ Reviews, Miscellaneous Beer Reviews, Brew Reviews, Bumpy Road Brews. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Bumpy Road Brews. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. And there's so many. Oh, Sunfish just popped up. Sunfish your fish. Cheers, man. Cheers to you. And Bourbon Bounty, FLX, Beer Reviews. Cheers to you, Dan. and Mike, of course, Jake BLX, so much Jake. Last beer with Josh. We have Miss Piggy in here. Cheers to you as well.
It's Piggy right here.
Oh, Sam Smalley, can't forget about him on Instagram. He is Short and Stouts beer reviews or short and stout reviews or something. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sam. I'm not trying to not know your stuff, but I always go to his stuff and like it. He always tastes some really good beers. Dagon Hills,
Like
thanks for
Josh,
showing up.
He's always putting up shit. Like
Always
a
putting it
lot
up.
of it.
Totally, dude. Yeah. And he knows his Westies for real. He loves them. The Commerce Aussie. Commerce Aussie. Cheers to you, Aussie. Mark A showed up. Cheers to you, brother. Cheryl Crawford, can't forget about you. You're always here. You're always supporting. Ridgeopolis, Ridge, cheers. You're a great man, brother. All right, man. That's what we got.
Damn good dude.
Damn good dude. Damn dude. Shit. Oh my God. I got lightheaded laughing like that. Wait.
Well, Dan, you could always hop on off air afterwards. So.
Yeah, you can. Please show up if you'd like.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you guys have a good night, day, wherever you're from in this beautiful world, but not after one more sip. Oh, that's strong, dude. Cheers.